There goes a fly ball towards left field. Going back fast is Kennedy. Kennedy gets there, and he takes it. And the Cleveland Indians are the world champions of 1948. And
this is Cleveland's Team, a baseball history podcast. A regular look back at professional baseball in Cleveland from 1901 and beyond. Now, here's your host, Guardians team historian, Jeremy Fedor.
What I want to do is I want to start off from the beginning. What are your earliest memories of getting into baseball as a kid? Do you remember what it was like growing up?
I never played baseball as a kid. Yes. 6, 7 years. But it was boring. When you're a little kid, they don't hit the ball to you. You just go ahead and run the bases. And I used to play center field, and they never hit me the ball. So I switched to basketball because basketball, you always had the ball. Until I was 9 years old, then I started playing again. But
so nine.
Yes, that's when I.
And when did you kind of realize that baseball was your sport?
Well, there was a guy named Antonio over there, and he always wants me to play baseball, but I was a basketball player. I like to play basketball, and he always insisted on me that, go play, come on, play. You used to play, go play. So this when I started liking the game, but loving it, basketball. When I was like 18, is when I started realizing that I have the ability to play the game because a scout came to my school, wanted to take me to a capital to see my abilities. This is when we started thinking about, well, this is basketball. I'll be too short. Basketball is Dominican. It's not popular like baseball. I mean, basketball, you play local, but it's back in the 80s, it was very hard for you to sign. Nobody was in the NBA at that time. So it was easy to choose baseball or basketball. And that's when I started playing. Really, really getting into the game of baseball in the academy and with the coaches and develop abilities and away from home. And that's when everything started, when I was 18 years old.
And you get picked up by the Phillies. Was it difficult to just get into the
Are we online now?
We're not.
We on yet?
Well, I'm recording. Yep.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So was it? I mean, again, nowadays, well, not nowadays, but recently there's been more of a a push to help ease. There's Dominican academies and things like that. But for you, was it just, hey, get on a plane and you're going out to wherever it was that they first got you?
Well, it wasn't an academy. It was like a pension. A pension is a place where they take you. It's like a motel, like a hotel, where they feed you. If I believe there was Carmen Castillo, George Bell, Juan Samuel, Mervin Soto was there, a couple of guys, and we used to practice. It's like 6, 7 guys and one coach, and we used to go to the university field and practice all day long. Until a scout came and was affiliated with the Phillies, and he signed Juan Samuel, signed myself, a couple of more guys.
So when you went into the Philly system, was that a hard transition to go from home to? Have you been to the U.S. before or no?
No, never. Now you mentioned it was very hard because I never left home. I don't speak English. And going from Dominican to Clearwater, Florida, it was shocking. But the Philly knew that, and they put all of us together. All the Dominican kids were roommates. So you speak Spanish, they speak in English, and they don't have translators those days. So they have coaches that speak Spanish. I remember Larry Rojas and was an infield coach, and most of the coaches speak Spanish. There was a couple of Cuban coaches that were assigned to us, infield coach, and when the spring training is over, we have they send us to Sarasota, Florida, for extended spring training. So that wasn't bad because now I've been in spring training for a month. And all of us went to Sandy Spring, a nice hotel. We have a pool. We play ball in the daytime, and the nighttime we play pool. So, and it was easier that way.
And you kind of, go through the system and you get your call up. Do you remember your first hit and who it was against?
I remember my first hit. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Joaquin Andújar.
Bob Forsch?
Bob Forsch? Could be in Philly, right?
It was second inning, Bob Forsch, April 23rd, 1982.
Wow.
So again, you were a big prospect in the Philly system. Were you aware that there were trade rumors circulating?
Not at all. Not at all. Because Larry Bowa was a shortstop, and they're always talking about Julio Franco, Ryan Sandberg, Juan Samuel. Those are the future of the organization as an infielders. And but then they trade Ryan Sandberg to Chicago, and Manny Trillo was a second baseman. Larry Bowa was still a second baseman. And they bring the Jesus of the Bowa. And when they trade me, I was shocked. I mean, 5-for-1. I still remember it was Manny Trillo, Jay Ballard, George Vukovich, Jerry Wheeler, and myself for Van Hayes. And I was like, Cleveland, what is that? Because I came up in the organization. I played 5 years in the minor league, and I knew all the minor league guys. I know all the players. I know all the coaches and managers. I mean, I was home already, and came to spring training, being the 40-man roster. I was like, this is my home. And coming back to Cleveland from Philly, it was like, I don't know where I'm going. But things came with Manny Trillo, which was already an established MLB player, and he took me under his wing. It was great.
Was it helpful then with having other, you mentioned 5-for-1, having more Phillies? Because I think we had traded with Philly before that too, so there seemed to be quite a few former Phillies on Cleveland's team. That was helpful then to have those guys already here?
Well, George Vukovich and Jerry Ballard, they were already in the big leagues. I mean, established players. Manny Trillo, Jerry Wheeler, I know from the minor leagues. We came up together, and but it was easier to have 5 guys from Philly in here than would have been just by myself. It would have been very hard for me.
And do you remember your first recollections of Cleveland and being at the old stadium? Because by then, I mean, even in 1982, 1983, it was kind of showing its wear and tear of a ballpark. Well,
we went to Tucson, Arizona, which isn't bad. It's hot. It's my kind of weather. Spring training was fun because it's always hot. I mean, all the areas in Arizona, all the teams are within 2 hours, 3 hours. So that was good. That was good. When we came to Cleveland, it was freezing cold. And the ballpark was old, right by the lake, and that wind was everything that wind blows. Oh my God! And big field, big ballpark, and but it was the big leagues though, and I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity the Indians give me to become part of the organization, because from 1983 to 88, I played shortstop here, and this when I start playing my careers. It's the opportunity that the Phillies didn't give me to play the game.
And when you come to Cleveland, you play that opening day. Do you remember those opening days with 60, 70,000 people, and then the next day, maybe 3,000? Was that unique?
Yeah. It was opening day. You get a full house. The next day, you don't know how many fans you're gonna get. into the Yankees came in. The Yankee comes in, it was packed up again. The Yankee leave. Same old fans come to the ballpark. And but I appreciate it. Now that I think about it, I appreciate being here because they give me an opportunity.
I had asked some people if they had any questions, and I had a few people ask, did you enjoy having your own little cheer when fans would yell Julio? Was that cool? Or did you...
That was outstanding. It was a high school teacher that started that. It's a friend of mine, and he was a great guy. We met and we went to lunch one time, and he asked me, "Do you mind if I yell out your name?" I said, "No, not at all." And they started Julio, and just stick with that.
And I guess too, for like every kid of Cleveland in the '80s, you had a batting stance that everyone tried to emulate in their backyard. When did that start, and how did you develop that unique stance?
You know what? A lot of people ask me that question, and my answer to that is, for you to learn something, you need to either see it or somebody teach it to you. At the time, nobody hit like that, and nobody can teach it. So where did I coming from? I think it was a gift from God, to be honest with you, because to get the bat when I had the bat and the big bat and come around it, it's got to be a natural thing to do. It can be thought for someone or hate like this. You either develop it or somebody teach it to you. Since nobody teach that, nobody saw it, I believe that when I put the bat up there, I feel comfortable, and from there on, it was my style, my trademark.
So it wasn't like a Tommy, Charlie Manuel, hold the bat out. It was a unique
Julio thing. Funny that you talk about this, because when I came to AAA, it was a manager named Ron Clark. And I didn't hit throughout the minor league. I never hit below 300, never. And but he says, you're not going to hit like this in here. You're going to have to change. And at the time, then I speak English, and I was the prospect, and I said, I do what you say in practice, and the game, my body's going to do what my body feels, which is more comfortable to him. So in BP, I hit like this, but doing the game, I couldn't. I do what was natural to me. And he didn't like me. He sit me down, and I went home. Took my bags, left for 3 days. They asked me, why you not playing? I said, well, the guy don't play me because he wants to change the way I hit. They make a phone call, and end of the story.
Now, you weren't known as a power hitter, but your first home run was with Cleveland, 1983. Do you have any recollection of your first
home run to right field line?
Against, do you remember who the pitcher was?
No.
Tippy Martinez?
Oh, Tippy.
You had a quote in the paper. It said, "No doubt it was a thrill. I thought it was going foul. It was great. I hope I can get that ball back." Did you get that ball back?
No, never.
Do you have anything from your career? Were you able to save any milestone moments, or was that not really your interest?
I don't dwell on memorabilia. I got a couple of things at home, but all my memorabilia are in the storage in Florida. The only thing that I kept was my last home run, because I hit it against Randy Johnson. He was the older pitcher and the older hitter in baseball at the time, and this is the only thing I have. Even my batting title bat is in the storage. My 5-0 Sogla Award at home. All my ring from the MVP, my ring from Cleveland when we lost the World Series, so we were independent. My 3 rings from the All-Star game, all those things are home somewhere. I don't wear those things.
And when you came into the league, was there anyone that as a young kid that you looked up to, that you got to play against or go up against, or?
Not to play against, because my idol was Roberto Clemente at the time. Everybody talk about Roberto Clemente, and that was my idol. But it's one guy that all the hitting coaches were great hitting coaches, but Bobby Bones teach me a lot. He's the guy that that I admire the most, that work with me the most, not only mentally but physically. He got me stronger, got me a bigger bat, showed me how to whip the bat through a strike zone. So, Bobby Bonds.
And you had a quote too. You said, "When I signed with Philly in '78, I promised my mother I'd hit 300 every year." Was your mom a big influence in your baseball life and in your life in general?
Well, my mom was my stepping stone in the right directions. My mom was the column of the Franco family. I never grew up with the father, so my mom was my father and my mother, and she was strong. She was a strong physically and mentally. And say, if you want to do something, you got to dedicate yourself to do it. So if you leave school and you want to become a ball player, I don't want to hear no complaints. You're gonna have to do well. And I say, don't worry about mom. I'll hit 300 every year.
And you were only with Manny for 1 year in '83, and then the rest of your Cleveland time until '88, you were with Tony Bernazard. And do you feel comfortable with everyone kind of in the infield? Do you have a good rapport with your teammates?
Yes, I mean, we play with good infielders here, gentlemen. I mean, Brooke Jacoby, Pat Tabler, Andy Thurton, Manny Trillo, Tony Bernazar. It was a great group of guys. To work hard on the field, got together off the field. Tony Bernazar and Andy Thurton was like mentor to me. Tony was in the league for a long time already, Andy too, and I was the youngest of all. So I appreciate all those guys, and I listen to all those guys, and they make impact in my career.
Was it tough playing in Cleveland in those '80s years? You go through your first tenure here, and there's only one winning season in '86. You kind of had stability with Pat Corrales as manager for most of your time, but did it get rough with kind of losing seasons? Some of those seasons you lost 100 games, but fans ebbed and flowed. Was that, or you were just set to play baseball and you did baseball?
Both. You don't have control over win and losses. You go in there and you play your game, and you play the best you can, and you give everything you can. Win or lose, you don't want to lose ball games because you play as a team, but you don't have control what you do as a team. You have control what you do as an individual on the field. So I prepare myself to play the game, to play every day.
And what was it like being a ball player in Cleveland in the '80s? And what do you remember of your time just as living in the city and
Well, I live here in the city, and the fans. I don't live in the city. I live in Westlake, so I don't spend a lot of time in the city. Sometimes after the game is over, we went to the flags with the guys, but I don't spend a lot of time on the city. Back in the '80s, it was nothing in Cleveland. I mean, everything was in the outskirts. So I live in Westlake, which is fun. It was a great city.
Did you ever run into any issues with the playing field? Because the Browns shared it, especially during that late in the season, early season, the field.
Yes.
Was
Especially in the early season. I mean, the field was always wet because it's snow here so much. And it was right by the lake, and they keep that moist and they keep that, humidity all the time. And when the Brown plays, oh boy, man, all those big boys, they just tore up that field. And the next day you got to play infield in that field. That was bad.
Now, do you, your time in Cleveland, did you know that maybe Cleveland, obviously Cleveland wasn't going to be your home your entire career? Did you know that, things might be changing with the club and you ended up going to Texas? Did you?
No, it caught me by surprise when I got traded to Texas. I was my second time that I got traded, and I spent almost 5 years in the minor league and half a year in Philly. Spent 10 years in here. And getting traded from here, it was upsetting. I got upset. I even sold my house in Westlake. I was talking about that today. I should have kept that house, but I was upset. even I went to Texas, which is the weather was great, and I heard that they got Nolan Ryan and have Rafael Palmeiro. Ruben Sierra was there already. Juan Gonzalez was there already. But leaving Cleveland, leaving my house and my friends, and I was married already. It was kind of upsetting.
And then obviously you're playing in Texas. You you keep tabs on everyone in the league and what's going on, but to see Cleveland then start developing into what they were, to see the new ballpark too, your first time playing here, was it kind of? I mean, obviously you wanted your team to do well, but to see Cleveland with Sandy coming up and Albert, was that something special to see what was going on, even if you weren't on the team?
Well, yes. Being here for such a long time and see how not only the team, the city was starting to develop, and see how many guys, they have Alomar, they have Albert, Manny was here, the rookie, Kenny Lawson was here. So Jim told me they start develop a great team, and when we put it, was great for Cleveland and great for the league. I mean, because to come up here to play in the field, I mean, Jacob Field was bad. I mean, I know because I play here, so every time we going to Cleveland again, it's it was something the players didn't look forward.
So it must have been pretty exciting then to get a second opportunity to come back in the midst of what was going on here, like you said, with Albert, with Tommy, with Manny. What was it like to play on those teams and the experience, go from Municipal Stadium, which was a hardly functional stadium, to what at the time was state of the art, new ballpark and sellouts all the time.
Yes, not only sold out, there was a great team. I mean, I think over here in 96, 97. It was a great team. Not only that, they have a powerhouse team that I should have won the World Series, but things happen in baseball. But it was fun. It was fun to come over here and sold out every single day, and the team winning, we coming back from behind, and it was fun. And you raise those bad memories that I have at old Municipal Stadium when I came to the field. I mean,
was it strange to play for Hargrove since you played with him as a ball player? Was that
No, he was a player's manager. It was easy to get along with him. I mean, Hargrove is a cowboy. I mean, he played hard. When he was a player, he was a first baseman. But also, it's not a guy you miss with. You play hard, you play the game the way it was, he leave you alone. I mean, you don't, then he's on your face.
Again, you got to play with quite a few, I guess we call them Cleveland legends. You got to play with Tito. What was that like too back in the first stint? Did you get to know Tito well as a player?
No, I didn't. Not at all.
But obviously Sandy's been around since since those days. I mean, was he?
Yeah, Sandy and I leave the second time here. I remember Sandy live about 2 houses down from me, and we usually drive to the ballpark together. So we were very tight. Very good guy, and I'm happy that he's still involved in baseball.
And then again, watching those come from behind wins and watching guys like Ramirez develop, was that something that was really unique to see? I mean, that team was loaded from top to bottom. To see your 8-hitter hitting 30 home runs as well. I mean, what was that? Just a nice feeling.
Well, like I said, it was fun. It was fun to come to Cleveland those 2 years and see the Indians develop into the team and the organization that they developed. And since then, got pretty good teams in here.
And did you take a mentorship role when you came back the second time? You were the elder statesman and all. Did you feel any sort of or were those guys kind of already set? I mean, the team was.
No. See, that team's got Abby Bell was a superstar already. Jim Tomey, Eddie Murray was here. Sandy, Kenny, Biskill. Those guys was already established. Manny was a rookie one out of all. So those guys came to the ballpark and they knew the roles. They knew what their plan was, their execution, what they need to do as an individual and as a team to win ball games. That's what makes us so good that everybody knew what the role was in the game.
And is this your first time back in Cleveland as a non-player,
Yeah. I tried to stay away from crowds and noises and all that. I've been to Japan a lot and Korea, and then went to Mexico for 2 years as a GM. And I think it's time to go back in the game as what I wanted to do is try to get back into the game at the minor league level to help kids. I would love to help kids, especially the Spanish that come from Dominican and Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Mexico, and don't speak Spanish, and try to help them, get acquaintance with the United States and what baseball is in here, and try to ease up things and be on the field and try to talk to them and be a father figure to them.
And one of the things we talked about before we started recording was you and the snake. What's do you remember the story of the snake? And
it was a picture to be on the cover of a magazine. The snake don't belong to me. I mean, I don't want to do that picture. It took me a while, a couple of hours for me to hold that thing.
Oh, you weren't comfortable with it? I mean,
I wasn't comfortable at the beginning because I don't want the snake to turn around and bite me. Only because I don't know how to handle it. Snake, you have to be. If she wants to roll into your hands, you can squeeze it, because if he squeezes, she bites. You have to let it roll and grab it and mingle with her, very soft and gentle. If you try to hold it, and this what the instructor told me, just make sure you don't hold it by the head. You don't squeeze it, pet it. If she wants to finger let her and then grab it on the bottom and continue doing that until I took that picture. But it wasn't a pleasant time.
And you wore a pretty significant number in Cleveland's history, 14. Did you have a reason for wearing 14? And did you ever have a chance to meet Larry Doby at all?
No, I never had a chance to meet Larry, but I always like 14. I always like the thing. I believe that in Philly, I can wear 14 because Pete Rose was there. Pete Rose number 14. So I wore 15. Minor leagues, 14. Well, 15. And when I came here, I got the chance to wear 14 again. When I came back in 1997, somebody has 14 already. So I don't want to take the number from it. So I took number 23, which is my this is my birthday. This is the day I was born, August 23. So I took 23.
And then just, I guess, a few more quick questions. I don't know if Nate's everyone's gone. Any pitchers that you really like to hit off, and any pitchers that were most challenging to you when you stepped in there?
I see pitchers all challenging. I didn't ease up against any of them. And when I came to the conclusion that what baseball is as a hitter of pitchers, I don't see any pitchers out there. Pitchers is just a guy to feed me the ball. After the ball leave his hands, it's not He ain't got nothing to do with the ball. He doesn't have control of the ball. The fight is me and the baseball. That's what baseball is. You catch the ball, you throw the ball, you try to hit the ball. It's baseball. It has nothing to do with the players. They're there to catch it and throw it, hit it. So when I saw a picture, I just saw the ball. I just want to hit the ball as hard as I can. So I see a lot of guys that says they're not going to play because this guy's pitching. I wanted to play. I wanted to play baseball. So I never see an easy pitcher. I believe that the guys that throw soft get you out easier than the guys throws hard. You need to focus more. You need to keep. You need to be more patient. You need to be more balanced. And you have to bring more force into your swing because he doesn't throw hard. So as it throws hard, you need to be just quick. So everything that I did was focus on seeing the ball, hit the ball, catch the ball, throw the ball.
And I don't know how much you still stay tuned to Cleveland baseball, but have you ever had a chance to watch Jose Ramirez play, and any thoughts of how that?
No, I didn't have a chance to see him play. I had a chance to see bits and pieces on TV. But the guy's a great player. He's a great player. I'm gonna have the chance to see him these 2 nights. I never met him. I hope that we can meet, and I hope I can shake his hands and congratulate him. He's a great player.
And yeah, I think I know you have other commitments coming up, but I mean, any stories about Cleveland? Anything I missed? Any games that are really memorable to you? But obviously playoff games, I'd imagine. But anything that you just want to get out there and put out to, again, a lot of people that watch this are Cleveland fans, baseball fans, and
the fans in Cleveland are great fans. The outstanding, especially as I got one family here, the Franco family that I appreciate. When I was a rookie in Cleveland, I remember September 19, 1983, I was going to a batting title. And Ron Guidry is pitching in New York, and I swing, and I broke the hamate. And I was going to go, I got surgery here. I can go back to Dominican because I had to go to a rehab. And that family took me under her wing, and then I stayed in their house. Tony and John Franco and their family, they listen to this. I'm still grateful for what they did for me.
And I guess, when a fan says, Julio Franco and thinks about Julio Franco, what do you want fans to, remember about Julio Franco and his time in Cleveland, his time as a baseball?
Well, when you mention Julio Franco, the fans already know my batting stance. They will go there. The guy that hit like this. But I want to be remembered a guy that came from Dominican and appreciate the game. I want to thank the fans. I want to thank all the players that I play with, the manager, the coaches that train me. I want to thank this great nation of the United States for giving me the opportunity to come here and play the game that we all loved. And this is how I want to be remembered.
And I guess until we get kicked out, there's been, since you started to now, the amount of Dominican players coming through the league, is that great to see? Is that really something that has been, if someone had told 21-year-old Julio Franco that, the amount of Dominican players coming through, is that, something that you would have?
At the time, no. It was too hard. It was too hard to become a Major League Baseball player. But like I said, we all Dominican have to thank America for what they've done. Most of the baseball academy from every MLB baseball is in DR. That helped develop players quicker, more stronger, more knowledgeable. Come here and they already speak a little bit of English because they give English classes over there. Over there, they can have an idea what American baseball is all about. So since then, yes, when I play, no, it was too hard.
You think if I imagine someone would want to ask, we put you in the lineup tonight, you're going 4 for 4, and you still got, I mean, I've seen videos of BP. You still taking BP at all? You still?
Who knows?
That's where I think a great spot to end it. And that was awesome. I don't know where Nate went.
You've been listening to Cleveland's Team, a baseball history podcast with Guardians team historian Jeremy Fedor.